What if I told you that your life could start changing in the next 7 days? Not because 7 days are magical, not because you'll suddenly become a different person, but because 7 days are long enough to prove one thing. Whether you're serious about changing, or whether you've just become addicted to starting over. Think about how many Mondays you've believed in, how many notebooks you've filled with plans, how many nights you've promised yourself, tomorrow will be different. And then, tomorrow looked exactly like yesterday. Not because you're lazy, not because you're broken, because somewhere along the way, you stopped trusting yourself. Every promise you didn't keep became another reason to doubt the next one, until eventually, the person you stopped believing in wasn't your parents, or your friends, or the world. It was you. Here's the truth nobody wants to hear. Your life doesn't fall apart in one dramatic moment. It falls apart quietly. One excuse, one distraction, one postponed decision at a time. And strangely enough, it begins healing the very same way. One decision, one promise, one day at a time. For the next 7 days, forget changing your entire life. Just change the person making today's decisions. That's where everything begins. Imagine waking up tomorrow morning. You grab your phone before your eyes are fully open. You scroll. 5 minutes become 20. 20 become 40. By the time you finally get out of bed, the day already feels behind you. Now ask yourself something uncomfortable. Did your phone ruin your morning? Or did it simply reveal a habit you were already avoiding? We spend years blaming distractions. Social media, bad luck, busy schedules. But sometimes, the real problem is much quieter. We've become experts at lying to ourselves. I work better under pressure. I'll start next week. I just need more motivation. Those sentences feel harmless, but every time you believe one, you delay becoming the person you could have been. Day one isn't about fixing your habits, it's about removing the stories that protect them. Because change begins the moment you stop defending the life that's making you unhappy. That first honest conversation with yourself is the hardest one you'll ever have. But it's also the first one that actually changes something. The next morning feels different. Not because life suddenly became easier, because now you're paying attention. You don't need to wake up at 5. You don't need a perfect routine. You don't need to transform overnight. You only need one promise. One that feels almost too small to matter. Make your bed. Read 5 pages. Walk for 10 minutes. Write 1 paragraph. Drink water before touching your phone. That's it. Why? Because you're not building discipline yet. You're rebuilding trust. Think about a friendship. If someone breaks promises to you every single day, eventually you stop believing them. The relationship falls apart. The relationship with yourself works exactly the same way. Every promise you keep whispers something powerful. I can count on myself. That sentence doesn't create motivation. It creates identity. And identity lasts much longer than motivation ever will. By the end of day 2, nothing around you may have changed, but something inside you has. For the first time in a long time, you kept your word. And that's where real confidence quietly begins. Around day 5, life starts testing you. A bad mood, a busy schedule, a disappointing conversation. Suddenly, every excuse feels reasonable again. This is the moment people think they've failed. They miss one workout, one habit, one morning, and they convince themselves they've ruined everything. But that's old thinking. The version of you you're creating doesn't expect perfection. He expects honesty. Instead of asking, "Did I mess up?" ask, "What do I do next?" That single question changes everything, because people who grow aren't the ones who never fall. They're the ones who stop turning one mistake into a reason to quit. By day 6, you'll realize something. You're no longer fighting your schedule, you're fighting your identity. The old version of you wants familiarity. The new version wants growth, and both cannot lead your life at the same time. Every decision is a vote, not for the life you have, but for the person you're becoming. The more votes you cast, the harder it becomes to return to the person you used to be. Here's the truth. 7 days won't fix your entire life. They were never supposed to. 7 days do something far more important. They prove that change isn't waiting for the perfect month, the perfect year, or the perfect version of you. It's waiting for one honest decision, then another, then another. One day becomes a week becomes a month becomes a lifestyle. And one morning, you'll wake up and realize something incredible. You won't remember the exact day your life changed, because it didn't. It changed quietly, while you were keeping promises nobody else could see. So don't remember this as a 7-day challenge. Remember it as the week you stopped waiting for someone to save you and finally became someone you could rely on. Because the strongest version of you was never hiding somewhere in the future. He was waiting for you to stop breaking promises to yourself.